Well, because I had been chewing on the story for so long, I had a lot of the big elements in place. So, but at the same time, you delve into it and you start working out all the details, and especially with something that's plotted like this, where with any whodunit, there's always kind of a labyrinth of following all these different characters and all the motives and the twists and turns and what do you know when. So there's, even if you have the basic structure of it, there's a lot of math that you still have to do. And then making it fun. That was the other big thing for me, is tonally I wanted this to be a fun movie. And so that makes it even harder when you have all this information you have to get across in a very specific way, and you want to make that kind of invisible so the audience is just being taken along on this fun ride, and the experience of it for them is obviously what the whole thing is about. I've kind of learned to not write with casts in mind, because you always get your heart broken because inevitably they're not available. And in this case, so I didn't have anyone in my head, and I was kind of astounded by the cast we were able to get. I mean, it all started with Daniel Craig. He was the first one to sign on, and he had a little window before he had to go into the next James Bond movie. And so once he was in it, yeah, we suddenly had a start date, and then all these great actors just started pouring in. It was kind of overwhelming. The real thing I was coming into, just in terms of someone who loves the genre, is how do I have my cake and eat it too? How do I try and get the mechanics of a thriller to carry us through the bulk of the film, and yet still have the pleasure of the big, I wanted a library scene at the end where they lays the whole thing out. I wanted the questioning at the beginning. I wanted the eccentric detective. I wanted all the stuff that I love about it. How do you do that and still give the thing an engine that, to me, is satisfying and really pulls you through in movie language? So in terms of coming into it, it wasn't some idea of like reinventing a genre or anything like that. It was just, how do I do a great whodunit? And to me, that was kind of the goal to aim for. Seeing it with a crowd, seeing it, feeling the energy in the theater, and feeling the audience respond to what the actors are giving out, that kind of joy, along with the mystery elements, along with hopefully the gasps and the revelations and the twists and turns, and the ending, I think, is something you're going to want to see surrounded by a big group of people. In that way, it's kind of the flip side of a horror movie. You're going to get a reaction from the audience in this movie. It's not going to be a passive experience. And the bigger and the louder the audience is, the more fun you're going to have.